trade in the year 2025 was all about tariffs and countries trying to navigate Trump's tariff threats. Some countries gave in to Trump's demands while some negotiated, and then there are countries fighting out the unjustified tariffs still. Amid all the trade uncertainties, India and China, they've managed to hold their ground. So will the year 2026 usher in new trade dynamics? Catch this report by Sumita here.
2025 was a year where nations redrew red lines, sometimes with words, sometimes with new weapons. If 2024 was about choosing a direction, 2025 was about agility. Order gave way to disorder, with only one familiar and unmistakable message written on the wall: America first. The year began with a glimpse of what was to come. Negotiate on America's terms or else. Soon after, global power was exercised through economy-pinching tariffs and arm-twisting, whether to fix trade imbalances or settle conflicts. Steel, autos, clean energy, advanced chips, industries became bargaining chips in the large geo-economic puzzle. For allies and rivals alike, these were warning shots, catching many by surprise. India and China held their ground despite punishing tariffs, even though the world's largest economies didn't fully decouple. But they didn't reconcile either. The outcome: unilateralism, ironically, gave way to multilateralism, even as nations raced to secure economic partnerships to secure supply chains.
China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products.
I think unfortunate and unfair position of being the only country so far sanctioned. The Russians themselves haven't been sanctioned for their conduct or their unwillingness to negotiate. And certainly China, a much larger purchaser of Russian oil and gas, hasn't been sanctioned. So I'm not sure Trump is paying attention. I don't know what to ascribe this anomaly to, but it's something that I'm very much worried about from the U.S. perspective, could drive.
贸易战没有赢家，保护主义没有出路。美方推出单边关税措施以来，不仅没有解决美自身任何问题，反而严重破坏国际经贸秩序，严重干扰企业生产经营和民众生活消费。
On the other hand, the promise of ending wars didn't see through, even as the conflict in Eastern Europe continues to rage on amid sporadic breakthroughs. Across the Middle East, shifting alliances and fragile peace kept diplomats on the move. Tense summits, shifting alliances, fragile peace, and blunt statements followed. The result? New, unusual alliances emerged, sending out a strong message of rejecting unilateralism. A year of tense summits, sharp rhetoric, and cautious handshakes, even as diplomacy became transactional, personal, and unpredictable. New bilateral deals emerged: energy exports to Asia, defense agreements in Eastern Europe, and a renewed push to bring manufacturing back to US soil, even as investors and markets try to readjust to a world marked by volatility. 2025 became a year that tested old alliances and forged unexpected new ones.
Will that bring stability? We don't know, because I think you have a leader who likes constant chaos, and so I think will that go away? My feeling is no.
But can 2026 be any different? That's the one question everyone is hedging their bets on. Will trade continue to be the stick to beat nations with? Will uncertainty remain the price of attention? While some of these questions still need to be answered, one thing is certain: the world remains reconfigured. Which side does the power center shift now, and which way the wind blows, that is still to be seen.
Hello and welcome. You are watching ET Now and I'm Prakash Priyadarshi. Amid global turmoil and tariff-related disruptions, the Indian economy has emerged as a bright spot for the world economy. Second quarter GDP growth has surprised many, cementing India's position as the fastest growing major economy in the world. Reform measures taken by the government in 2025 have played a pivotal role in the current growth trajectory. In this special edition, we bring you a detailed look at the reform measures taken by the government this year.
The year 2025 began with a big bang reform on the direct tax front. In a major relief to the middle class, the government announced sweeping changes in personal income taxation. The finance minister declared zero tax liability on income up to 12 lakh rupees under the new tax regime. For salary taxpayers, this threshold effectively rises to 12.75 lakh rupees with the benefit of a 75,000 rupees standard deduction.
There will be no income tax payable up to income of 12 lakh rupees. Tax rate structures as follows: 0 to 4 lakh rupees nil, 4.8 lakh rupees to 4 to 8 lakh rupees 5%, 8 to 12 lakh rupees 10%, 12 to 16 lakh rupees 15%, 16 to 20 lakh rupees 20%, 20 to 24 lakh rupees 25%, and above 24 lakh rupees 30%.
Following a sweeping overhaul of the direct taxes structure, the government has set the stage for big-ticket reforms in GST. Leading from the front, the Prime Minister made a landmark announcement from the Red Fort.
Big bang GST reforms paved the way for a long-awaited rate rationalization. Acting on the centre's proposal, the GST Council approved a simplified two-rate structure, 5% and 18%. A special higher slab of 40% was introduced for sin goods and luxury items.
Common man items such as hair oil, toilet soap, bars, shampoos, toothbrushes, toothpaste, bicycles, tableware, kitchenware, and other household articles have all come to 5, whether they were in 18 or whether they were 12. Similarly, reduction of GST from 5% to nil. 5 से 0 में जाने वाले items indicate कर रहा हूँ. Ultra high temperature milk, the UHT milk, chena or paneer, all the Indian breads will see nil rate.
Implementing the reforms effectively was a major challenge for the government. The CBIC, through its extensive informations, ensured that the benefits were passed on to consumers.
The finance minister herself closely monitored the rollout of the new GST structure. During the transition phase, prices of more than 52 essential items were tracked to assess whether businesses were passing on the tax benefits to end consumers, reinforcing the government's focus on compliance and transparency.
The year 2025 delivered a boost to the economy with long-awaited labor reforms. After nearly 5 years, the government has notified the implementation of 4 new labor codes, signaling a major overhaul of the labor market.
The 4 labor codes on wages, industrial relations, social security and occupational safety replace a complex web of over 29 central labor laws. The government says the move will simplify compliance, reduce litigation and create a more flexible and transparent labor ecosystem.
The codes have a big provision for flexibility in terms of flexible hours of working. It has provisions for the gig and platform work, the new digital economy. So in that sense, it is an enabler for Industry 4.0. Along with that, in terms of formalization, in terms of, I would say, universalization of wage security, universalization of occupational safety and health, universalization of social security covering unorganized gig workers, etc. for the first time. It's almost in sync with whatever has been done in the developed world. So it is a big change in that sense.
One of the key highlights of the reforms is the expansion of social security coverage to gig workers, platform workers, and those in the unorganized sector, a first of its kind initiative at the national level. The codes also mandate timely payment of wages and strengthen provisions related to provident fund, insurance, and gratuity.
Its success lies in effective implementation, and therefore the role of state governments will be very crucial. A pragmatic and competitive labour markets will open the doors to Viksit Bharat by 2047.
States has been continuous. We very recently had a national workshop on 11th and 12th November on various issues, including a discussion on the labour laws. And we will be continuously engaging with the states because, as I said, we are one country and we believe in the spirit of cooperative federalism.
With the notification of the 4 labour codes, India takes a decisive step towards modernizing its labour market. The real test, however, will lie in the effective implementation by states and ensuring that the promised benefits reach workers on the ground.
Year comes to an end, the government's reform express has gathered fresh momentum. These measures are expected to have a long-lasting impact on consumers, industry, and the economy.
During the winter session of Parliament, the centre introduced key reform bills and successfully steered them through both houses. One of the most significant legislations cleared by the Parliament is the Sabka Bima Sabki Raksha Bill, also known as the Insurance Laws Amendment Bill 2025. The bill allows up to 100% FDI in the insurance sector.
I rise to move for leave to introduce a bill further to amend the Insurance Act 1938, the Life Insurance Corporation Act 1956, and the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act 1999.
The government believes that the country needs further capital infusion into the insurance sector. This will ensure that we benefit from better technology, world-class risk assessment models, and the best insurance products available anywhere in the world.
But to attract global capital and technical know-how, the FDI limit had to be changed.
In another landmark decision, Parliament approved the Shanti Bill, opening up India's nuclear power sector to private participation. The legislation allows private companies to operate nuclear power plants in the country under a regulated framework, marking a historic shift in India's energy policy.
India's new framework is now aligned with global benchmarks. The new framework clearly defines roles and responsibilities for safety regulation and operations. While the government will oversee licensing of nuclear power projects, the AERB will handle safety authorizations independently.
The move is expected to accelerate capacity addition, attract private capital, and support India's clean energy transition as nuclear power gains prominence in the country's long-term energy mix.
The government is now pushing next-generation reforms to shape the vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047. We saw the early signs of this in 2025. The big question is, will 2026 deliver more big-ticket reforms to build a modern economy? Will the reform measures help India tackle global headwinds? Only time has the answer. Meanwhile, stay tuned and keep watching ET Now.